Let the storm rage, let the darkness grow. They'll never break what they'll never know. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight. Every scar we bear tells the story we wrote. Through the floods, the flames, we stayed afloat. Demons can't touch what's bound in grace. With you, I've found my safest place. Ride or die through the firestorm tonight. God brought us here, we'll stand and fight. You're my best friend, my love, my life. I'm going nowhere, I'm holding tight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Abnormal Investigations. It's the Midnight Train. I'm Stephen Michael McKee, and we're here to hang out with y'all at 12 o'clock a.m. Because why? Because it is so windy outside. We couldn't do nothing tonight because, I don't know, we got gale force wind out there, and it actually blew the internet tower part of it off out here, so I'm actually using my phone tonight to even be able to stream because our home internet tower got snapped. So, guys, that's what's going on tonight. Kaylee may join us a little bit tonight for a little Q&A. I don't know. She doesn't like that I have her frog, but I've got her frog. Okay, guys, so what we're going to be talking about tonight is going to be a plethora of stuff. I'm not even sure what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be fun. Now, we're going to talk about some things. We got Jesse's going to talk about some things. I'm going to talk about some things, and we're going to go into what it was like living with cryptids whenever I was younger. And also, Jesse has the link. She'll be sharing the link in chat, guys. We're doing an open mic night tonight, so if you want to jump on and share some of your stories and hang out, ask me some questions, ask Jesse some questions, and yeah, we're probably asking for it doing that. I can only imagine some of the questions that could be asked tonight. So since my main computer is down tonight, I'm using my phone. I'm trying to use both, but that's not working. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to bring Jesse on if I can on my phone, and we will skip using the laptop right now since I'm trying to use a hotspot for the laptop and it's just not working. Let's see if that works.
Hello.
Are you there? You are. Did it work?
Yeah. Yeah. Hi.
Okay, so we're using my phone only tonight, which I'm not used to doing that. I don't have my big screen, Jesse, so you will be in charge of seeing all the comments because I can't see the comments just on my phone. Don't that suck?
Yeah, that does. I put the StreamYard link up there for anybody that would like to. What did you do? Well, guess I'm running the show tonight, guys. Hello, Larry. Hello, Edith. Let's see. Hi, Virginia. Sword and the Spirit. Hello, welcome. Emmy, welcome. Hello, hello. Yeah, your eyes are not cooperating. My eyes are not cooperating much either today. I am absolutely tired. Oh, and my cat is clawing at me.
So I guess that's what
Wel-
I get for touching a button that I don't know what it does when you're
welcome
using a
back.
phone.
Yeah.
It just kicked me right on out of there. So
Yeah.
frustrating. So frustrating. Uh, so I guess what we can do, Jesse, if you can put the link in the chat for anyone that would like to join us right now, they can ask us questions, whatever they would like to do.
Right on top of that, Rose. I already did
That's why I
that.
said we don't know what we're asking for, probably.
Hello, Romans. Yes, the night owls. Because we don't sleep. Ever.
We don't have to work. Why would we sleep?
Right. Exactly.
So if anybody wants to jump in, just jump on in. And you can ask us any question you want to if we answer it or not. That's the $1,000,000 one. Tonight, I was disappointed when we got out to where Chuck had given me that location. That really bothered me because I was looking really forward to going there. And it's like when I stepped out of the vehicle, I could tell with the wind, how loud the wind was, that it was going to be limited on what we was going to be able to hear and see. And, you can't walk into the woods whenever you got big old trees breaking and falling. And
Mm-hmm.
I was frustrated.
It's definitely a place I think you should go back to, though. Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we will. I think we'll go back. It was just aggravating to be able to finally get down there and be at the location and then not be able to fully investigate it. It was kind of frustrating because I almost at one point went ahead and pushed myself to go into the woods, and I was like,
Yeah, Virginia says there was actually, yeah, there was definitely stuff going on there, Virginia. I mean, there was, there were EVPs, there were definitely noises and howls, and it's too bad that you couldn't. Yeah, the wind really wasn't that bad in the first place. I mean, it was kind of annoying, but I didn't think it was horrible. The second place was really bad.
to me, it was really loud while I was there.
Mhm.
I could hear like the trees rubbing together, the leaves were blowing. It was just a whole lot of distraction. It was.
Mhm.
I like it on the quiet nights when I can go in there and you can hear a pin drop
Yeah.
because then when you hear something you're like, okay, that's not normal. That doesn't belong there.
Mhm. Yeah, I agree.
So I wonder if anybody's going to join us tonight. Is anybody going to come on the open mic night and hang out with us and ask some questions and tell us some stories? And I know there's got to be a troll out there or somebody that wants to come on, right?
I can put the link in again.
I mean, they want to come and hang out, right?
Oh, can I? I can't pin it, can I? Oh, yes, I
I
can.
don't.
Oh, wait, no, I can't. I
Can
can't.
you not?
No, I
Wait,
can't.
let me see if I can. Since you put it up right there, let's see if I. Oh, I can. No, I can't. I thought I could.
You should be able to.
Nope, it won't let me.
Uh,
Dadgummit.
that's frustrating.
It is. So I guess we'll just have to share it every now and then and see if anybody wants to jump in and hang out with us.
Mm-hmm. So anybody that wants to come on. How about Mr. Fischer? He's got some stories.
Oh, is Larry in the chat?
Yeah, he is. He said he just got
Larry, would you like to come on, Larry, and share some of your stories with us? He's probably like, thanks a lot, Jesse.
home. Yes, he would. Woohoo! Exciting. I am excited. Or was he saying yes, he's in the chat?
I'm not saying I did. I don't know. I do not know.
I would love to have Larry come on and tell some stories. That'd be awesome. Yay, Larry. Yeah, see?
He could tell us about the Hernandez Ranch. I've been wanting to know a lot about that.
Yeah. He said LOL. I think he was just saying he was in the chat. Dang, Larry, come on.
But I guess we're not talking about fiction tonight, so we can't
Nope.
talk about the Hernandez Ranch.
Nope, click on it, Larry. Yeah, click. Yeah, Larry, click on the link. Woohoo, exciting.
This is going to be good.
Yeah.
We get Kaylee on here. She's over there playing with her dog. Not sure what she's doing.
I hear like the is she playing video games?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's always playing some kind of game.
Block Blast.
Yes. She's a gamer. She's one of them gamer girls, you know what I mean? She needs some of that grass on her feet. I like to give her hell over that. I was teasing her the other night. I was like, get some grass on your feet. And there was actually a guy on the game that's name was Grass on the Feet. I started laughing.
Virginia wants to know, what is the incident that frightened you most at Granny's?
Oh, Virginia, that is a wonderful question. Thank you for asking that tonight on the Midnight Train. Well, let's see. As far, like, there was so many times I was afraid that I was actually scared. But if I was to pick one time that I was the most afraid, I think it would be probably the night that Granny was fighting with whatever it was. It was trying to open the window and she was trying to close the window. That was probably one of the most, I don't know that I have a most, but that would be the top 5. Knowing that whatever was outside was, I felt like in my mind, fighting her to try to come back into the home. And, okay, Larry, no hurry. When you get it, we'll get you on here.
One really quick, Larry, one of the things that you could do is when you click on the link, if you actually click on the little 3 lines on the top, if you're using your phone, and you want to use it, go through Chrome. That's usually the easiest way to log in. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it was just in my mind that whatever it was wanting to come inside, and I did not want it in the house. Virginia, I'm not real sure what it was. I remember, sitting in the floor. I remember we had the windows open because it was summertime. And, she had what they called the drapes, I guess, pulled back. And Granny was sitting, she had a couch that she sat on. Y'all remember the ashtrays that stood up? She had a big, tall orange one that stood in front of her chair. And she, of course, had her cup of coffee, and me and my cousin, we were sitting in the floor. And I remember there was a tree right outside of that window. So Granny had glanced over, and I think she saw either what it was at the window or in the tree, because it would be in that tree a lot also. Uh, I remember her saying, "Don't turn around and look. Don't pay attention to it. Just ignore it. I'm going to get up and I'm going to shut the window." And we had been through that many times before living down there. That was nothing new for somebody to say, don't pay attention to it, or don't look at it, or it was ignore it, ignore it, ignore it. It was a lot of what we was told. And when I seen her get to the window, you always have that weird feeling in the back of your mind. Is it going to reach in the window and grab her when she gets there? Because we didn't have screens on our windows. And I remember watching her fight with that window going up and down, her saying, "It's trying to get in." And, "Hey, Aussie Alley, good to see you." And I was like, oh my God, whatever this is trying to get in. And my thought was, what if Granny can't overpower it and it pulls her out, or it gets in? Because if it would have got her, then it would have just been me and my cousin down there in that house, and no cell phones, middle of nowhere. So, that was a scary thought, and to think, then you're always wondering, like, what would it have done to her? Would it have, like, ate her right there, shredded her right there? What would I have to witness? And just watching her fight with that window, seeing that, like, that really, and then it going back up. It looks like we got Larry backstage. I want to try to bring him on. I see a gray screen, so hopefully it's working for him. Let's see here.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
We can hear ya.
We can hear you.
Hey, good morning to y'all.
Good morning.
Yeah. Well, I was on the road as I usually am, and so I wasn't able to read or say hello to anybody, but anyway, now I can tell everyone hello.
Yeah, you seem to always be driving at 80 miles an hour down the road and texting.
That's it. That's it. Texas is a big place. So
Be
lot,
careful if you're driving down the highway, because Larry might be zooming past you.
yeah. Well, I have been able to uh, meet up with Clough at least one time at Troy. I was heading down 35, and so I pulled into a Whataburger at Temple and took him. I think I took him a triple meat Whataburger with cheese and jalapenos. But anyway, I'm sorry I missed so much of the show because I'm always in bad sales.
No.
Oh, that's okay. Tonight was such a windy night, we couldn't really hear anyways. It was kind of frustrating.
Well, I always enjoy it whenever, when I can actually either pull over on the side of the road in a good cell, or just get off the road. And
Right.
for once, it's midnight, so I'm off the road.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good week with finally getting paid for some roofs I did 4 and 5 months ago. So that really helps.
It really takes a while to get those from the insurance companies. Yeah.
Yeah, they drag it out. They do. But anyway, this week was good.
Good to hear.
God is good.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
All
Amen.
the time. Yeah. Wouldn't have made it this far without him, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, my biggest struggle is it's always in his time. I always want it in my time.
Yeah, we're definitely on the wrong timeline. I mean, he's it's trying to get him to bump over into my timeline that I keep thinking he's going to, but
Yeah.
I've got to keep working at it. Um, hey, what's the temperature where y'all are?
It is 47 where I'm at.
How
Really
about
want
you?
to really want to know?
How about you, Jess?
Hold on, let me check. I try not to look at it lately. Oh, it's actually 23 degrees.
Ah,
Feels like 11 though.
feels like 11. Well,
Hmm.
I think it's about 53,
Whew.
um, 53 here, and so I was hoping it would cool off a little bit because I would like to go deer hunting tomorrow afternoon, and need the deer to be at least thinking it's cold.
Right.
But anyway,
The
it's
other night, I was on my way to town, and there was a guy that was pulled over on the side of the road, and he hit 3 deer, and they had to call medical services for him.
oh wow.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm I remember uh, we'd been hunting unsuccessfully out in I guess it was around Ranger, um, and I was headed home, and there was a huge 12-point buck that had been hit by a little bitty car, and that little car was the highway patrol was there, and I pulled up. I saw the deer on the road, and the the deer was in great shape. I mean, just basically had a broken neck and was dead. That was about it. But the car was totaled, and
Hmm.
so I asked the game warden, well, asked the highway patrol if I could grab that deer and throw it in the back of my truck, and he said nope. He said that belongs to the state, and you can't take it. So I called the
Wow.
game warden. I called the game warden, and I got the game warden, told him what was going on, and I said there was a big buck that was hit on I-20 coming off Ranger Hill, and I said, would it be okay for me to grab that? And he said, sure, you go ahead. So when that highway patrolman turned his head, I ran and grabbed that 12-point buck, threw it in the back of my truck, and I drove through the bar ditch. And it was so funny. He was looking around, and he couldn't see the deer anywhere. And I was on past him in the bar ditch, and I was gone. So anyway, I had to find a place to do a quick uh, field dress of the deer. But anyway, that worked.
That would have been a sight to see.
That was fine. Yeah, and then and it was a beautiful rack, a 12-point rack, and I was so proud. I was going to do a little European mount of that, and I get home, and the next day I look, and my son had figured we need some rattling horns. So he had taken the saw and sawed them off, and I was sitting there
Oh
going,
no.
"Oh,
Yeah.
so much for that."
Still some good eating though.
Oh, it was great. It was great. Great meat, and I hate that they've got so much chronic wasting
Yeah.
that's going on, and there's a few counties in Texas that they've experienced that, and so you have to check everything now.
Hmm.
But anyway, I've got a Ford dealer. The guy where I bought my truck. His son works at a ranch, and they have to kill 160 doe and spike at the ranch, and he said that he was going to load me up with all the deer I needed. So I'll be heading to the Ford dealer if I don't if I don't see anything tomorrow.
Wow, you'll be set for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You
I mean,
know, Oklahoma is. I don't know what people think about this, but they're the only state right now that's they're raising some special deer that they have bioengineered
Mm-mm.
oh
that
crap.
that cannot get CWD,
Oh
and
really?
they're going to start replacing our herds here with those deer. Which Oklahoma, we've only had it in the Panhandle, but they're wanting to use us for a starting state, and then try to introduce these bioengineered deer that cannot get the chronic wasting disorder. Which
How how can how can they do that? I mean, that's I
that's
mean,
weird to me.
yeah, because you think about it's the prions that you know it it basically seems to have started when all these people would um, feed basically they're trying to get minerals and protein, and they're feeding ground up animals to deer and to cattle,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what seems to have caused the prions to turn into CWD, and I just don't know how you could bioengineer a deer not to come down with it.
And then it makes you wonder, am I going to be okay later after eating that deer that's been bioengineered? And then, you know,
Exactly,
I was
exactly.
talking to the game warden, and I asked him, about the CWD because I was concerned about it when it first came out.
Right.
And he said there has been no case of a human catching CWD. Of course, they tell you if it's sick, don't eat it. But he said there has been no crossover. And then he went into this
Um,
year, they put out a warning that if you're a bird hunter, that you need to make sure you wear gloves and everything because of the Asian flu is now in the ducks and all the birds and everything. And they're saying wear a mask, don't smoke while you're cleaning them, wear gloves, make sure you wash your clothes, don't let your kids handle them, don't sit on the couch with them.
wow.
Yeah.
Well, uh, you've got to take everything that a game warden says with a grain of salt, because for years in Texas, they would say that there are no. Uh, for years they said it. There were no cougars, mountain lions
Mm-hmm.
in Texas in certain counties, and they were all over the place. And they would deny it, and they would say that there's no black panther. Well, I can tell you, if you drive along Highway 380 up at Wizard Wells, uh, you know, just west of Lake Bridgeport, there's a family of black panthers, and then at Kasi, I've got a picture from the game cam, a black panther uh, out there, in Central Texas. So, you know, for that, but when they tell you that no one has um, come down with CWD, I think I, that guy needs to be corrected. There was a ranch down in Texas, and two of the people down there that were associated with that ranch, it was a high fence ranch. The gentlemen both died of CWD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you gotta take everything with a grain of salt.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, even when you think about the whole 2019 thing, they said that it wasn't here, but there were people that were getting sick
Oh yeah.
before it was here. So how is that?
I got it
Well,
November 2019.
I had it in February of
Right.
2020.
Well, this is somewhat related, but a little bit off subject. It's this the rich Western cowboy that him and his wife went over to France, and there was a lot of mad cow disease going on back then, and the guy said, "I'll take a big steak," and his wife had been arguing with him about different things, and he they'd bickered back and forth, and anyway, the waiter comes up and he says, "So what would you like, sir?" And he said, "Oh, I want the biggest steak you got." And the waiter looked and said, "But what about the mad cow?" And he said, "Oh, she'll just have a salad."
Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyway,
Yeah,
you had to
I
be
know.
there. You had to be there. Okay.
I know a guy that actually he passed away from mad cow disease.
Oh,
He,
really?
yep, he lived in Nowata, and
Mm,
he ate steak. He loved steak, and
mm.
he came down with it, and they ended up putting him in a nursing home, and he didn't last a real long time either. It was
Wow.
kind of like Alzheimer's. He just kind of got where he didn't understand or know who people was, couldn't talk, slowly lost his cognitive functions, and yeah, and they actually
Wow.
came out and said that's what it was, that he had contracted mad cow disease.
Holy crap. Wow.
And I've got a buddy. He works at the butcher shop. I'm probably going to make a lot of people not want to eat beef, but
All right.
he
Wow.
said their rules are to butcher a cow is all that has to happen is that cow has to be able to walk to the kill station, and that doesn't mean they can
Oh.
hot shot it, whatever they got to do, as long as it can walk up there. If it's sick
Oh.
and
Wow.
it can walk up there on its own,
Yep.
then they can kill it and butcher it, and then we eat it.
Mm, mm, mm.
Yeah,
That's scary.
makes you want to start hunting everything.
Right.
Or stop eating beef and pork.
No, that ain't
Well,
happening.
well, I've got a friend that raises Wagyu beef, and so I think I'll just hang around her ranch. Oh, shoot.
I don't.
And
I don't. I don't see me giving up steak, Larry. I don't think I can
I'm
do it.
it's not in the cards for me either. I mean, it's not in the cards.
But I think there's a solution, though. I think as long as we pray over it, we'll be okay, because Jesus said it's not what goes into the body, but what comes out, right?
Yeah,
So,
that's right. It's right. Not what goes into the mouth, but what comes out that defileth thee. So,
Mhm.
yeah, I'm gonna be okay.
yep, just pray over it,
I'll do it. Lady.
because I
Blood of
love
Jesus
a good,
over it all. Yeah.
yeah, I love a good steak. Mm.
Um, and I like that second steak as well. Yeah, first one's a good start.
That's the appetizer.
Yeah, exactly.
We got up here, Larry. We have so many deer that I don't even understand what the government's doing. This year, during our deer season, we were not allowed to harvest a doe.
Really?
Just a buck. But if you go out here and you look where I live, it's all ranchers own everything,
Right.
and there's there is herds of deer larger than the herds of cattle on these properties,
Oh, yeah.
and they
See,
won't let nobody hunt them.
wow. That's I remember when I was in undergraduate pilot training while I was at A&M. Uh, I had to take. They put us in a little Cessna to get hours and get flying time. And I remember flying out to Caldwell. Just you know, the instructor took me out and he said, "See those cattle down there?" And so we're flying along. I don't know how many, maybe 3,000 feet up, I guess. And I saw this huge pasture, and I saw all these, what I thought were cattle. And we went down. This is before I'd soloed. This is probably the, you know, third or fourth hour of flying I'd ever done. And um, anyway, when we got down there, the whole pasture, huge pasture, it was all deer. I could not believe how many deer were in that area, but it opened my eyes. And if you look, if you look on my Facebook page, there's uh, there's an old profile picture that I had. Uh, it was a deer taken from that county, and it measured. It was, I think, 222 was the Boone and Crockett scoring on that. It was the largest
Wow.
deer, um, largest typical deer taken in the state that year, and everybody thinks that it's my deer. So I'm going to go ahead and do the disclaimer. I was up hunting up in Kansas, and the guy that was the Remington rep was hunting, and he brought that deer that he had shot, um, and I couldn't believe he didn't mount it. But anyway, he brought it up, so uh, I got to hold that, and everybody thinks I'm, the big great hunter. But anyway, it was pretty cool to hold the largest typical, and that year was 2012.
Wow.
Actually, the year before that, George Strait had shot the largest deer, typical deer in the state.
Wow.
That's
Yep.
that's neat.
That was cool.
Cool.
So, do you hunt a lot, Larry? Do you do like a lot of hunting?
I wish I could be in the woods like my brother, you know, all the time. But I just, I'm trying so hard to make a living. I don't get to hunt near, uh, you know, everything is gone. I've got some, we've got 81 acres that, I've I've shot deer on our property, but I used to just always go to Crockett. And so, since you had asked for, for 20 years, my brother and I would go to Crockett. And so, I will tell you um, one uh, little story about. Um, I had my sons, and we were in our tent, and my brother had his tent, and we were talking, we were winding it down. It was about midnight, and we were going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and head out to our stand. And this is at Davy Crockett National Forest. Uh, it's off 287, off Highway 287, and Louisville Road was the exit. Um, well, right down Louisville Road, um, right there in the national park, national forest, there's a hog farmer. He had um, he had his pasture, and he had a pen, and he had all these hogs. Well, anyway, we're about a quarter of a mile across the pasture from where he is. Well, as we were talking, we were listening to the crickets, cicada, and the owls and um, frogs, everything, and a loud scream growl, roar went right through and shut everything up. And I heard my brother, uh, you know, I mean, we both just stood there, dead silent. And, just like the forest was totally silent. And then I heard him say, James, hand me my gun. And so we didn't see anything right then. We went to bed at 3 a.m. We heard something very heavy walking through. It wasn't like it was a deer walking through our campsite. And, being the brave soul I was, I didn't look. I didn't check. I just, I stayed in the sleeping bag and just held my breath a little bit as I heard it walking by. And so we had our hunt the next morning, and everything, uneventful hunt. And we went to, I think it was Groveton, and we're at a little restaurant right down below Crockett, and the rancher, the farmer that owned that pig farm, he was at one of the tables, and he said, "Y'all ain't gonna believe what happened last night." And we said, "Well, Don, go ahead and tell us." And he said, "I heard my hogs screaming, squealing." He said, "I walked outside to see what the commotion was, and I looked, and there's a 300-pound hog laying there dead, right outside my porch. And as I'm looking, I see a Bigfoot, and he's got another hog, and he is throwing it and slamming it into this large tree. And he grabbed a hog under each arm, stepped over the fence, and he said this was at midnight, and it let out a scream, and yelled at, and he said, and that was the noise that we heard. That was the scream that we heard. It was a quarter of a mile from where we were camping out in the forest. But it walked away. It walked away from his porch, from his pen, and was able to just step over the fence with a hog under each arm. So anyway,
that's my grandpa. He used to raise hogs down at my granny's, and it for some reason, whatever was down there was several different things down there. They never bothered the livestock until we tried to hurt them. There was one time that, I told the story about where I shot, one in the cattails, and after I'd done that, a hog was killed, and later on,
hey,
Wyatt would do that.
it blanked out there for a second.
Oh.
I couldn't hear it.
We always figured it
was you said something about a hog got killed, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
Yeah, after I had shot whatever it was down there, it had killed one of the hogs, cut its head off, and stuck it on the fence post. And that night, also, it was beating on the back door, and we thought it was trying to come in. And it was just boom, 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 boom. We were scared to death. I was just a kid. I was crying, me and my cousin.
Right.
And the next day, when we went outside, the banging on the back door wasn't actually the Bigfoot banging on the back door. it had took a chicken and beat the chicken to death on the back door. There was blood and feathers all over the house.
Wow.
So I think it was retaliatory, maybe.
Right. So was it? So you had shot a Bigfoot, or you shot?
Well, the story, what happened is my granny had a stroke, and
Right.
this had went on while my mom and them were kids also. So me and my cousin, we got mad because Granny was sick. She was bedfast. The girls were taking turns staying with her, taking care of her, and whatever this thing was, it was bothering them every night. So me and my cousin, we were like, you know what? We're going to put a stop to this. And
Okay, I got you.
we were young, and
Sure.
we thought we would be able to do something that my uncles couldn't do. We should have known better because my uncles, they were in Vietnam and everything. But we were so sure of ourselves. So we told Mom, was like, okay, tonight you go to Granny's. We're not going to go with you. We're going to stay at home, and we're going to sneak down during the middle of the night. We're going to catch whatever this is, and we're going to get rid of it. So Mom left. We lived probably about a half a mile from my granny's, and dark time it came. So I grabbed my, all I had was a 410 Mossberg single shot. My cousin, he had his 22 semi-automatic. So we take off, and we get down there. And right before you get to my granny's house, there was some old oil barrel. I can't even think of the name of them. Storage containers, and they had a ladder where you could go up on top.
Right.
So I said, let's crawl up on top of this, and we can watch Granny's house. And then whenever it comes up there, we'll be able to see it under the yard light, and maybe we can get a shot on it. So we're laying up there, and all of a sudden, Granny's dog, it starts, barking in the backyard, and we're like, okay, whatever it is, it's on its way. So we see the shadow along the side of the house, and we're like, it's there. So we started across the pasture trying to sneak up on it. And as we're going across the pasture, you can see the shadow of it. Well, it knew we were coming. So it took off running, and it ran off down into the hog pasture. Well, down into the hog pasture, it was real rocky, and he didn't have hogs at this time. Grandpa had passed away, but you would go down like a small incline, and there was a like a pond there, and the pond was just full of cattails. Well, it ran into the cattails. So we decided, hey, we're going to go in after it. We're gonna get this thing, whatever it is. So there was a spillway off the back of the pond that Grandpa built. So whenever the pond got too full, it would spill off the back. Well, he had a piece of tin that was laying over that spillway that you could walk across like a little bridge. So we went across it. We went into the cattails, and when we're in the cattails, it was dark, and all we had was one of those little cheap plastic Walmart flashlights. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of money, so we had the old cheap flashlight, and we're looking in the cattails, and all of a sudden, whatever it is, it runs out right in front of me and my cousin. It's dark. It wasn't humongous. It wasn't like everybody says. This would, if I was to describe it, it would have been just a husky football player, linebacker built size. And it ran out right in my face. It was dark. I could see the shadow of it. Now I could hear like the gurgling breathing. It had like a gurgle when it would breathe. We always compared it to like a coffee pot percolating. I lowered my gun, and I shot it point blank with my 410. It was 7.5 ounce shot. That's what I shot it with. And my cousin, he unloaded with his 22 on it. Well, when I shot it, it fell, Larry. It hit the 10, just boom. Oh yeah, just like you had shot any kind of animal that you was hunting. And I was like, okay, we killed it. We actually killed this thing.
Wow.
Well, we didn't.
Yeah.
We started reloading. It stood back up, and Grandpa had a chicken house probably 100 yards up from the pond. It took off running, went up behind the chicken house, and we're reloading our guns. Well, Mom and them was in the house. They heard the gunshot, so they get in the car. My mom had an old four-door LTD. She jumps in her car, drives it around, turns her bright lights on. She's got her lights pointing toward the chicken house down in the hog lot. They're like, "What are you all doing? What are you shooting at?" And they're yelling at us, and we're like, "Oh, we shot it. It's back behind the building." And I don't think they believed us at first until they walked down there and they saw the blood. The blood looked like an artillery hit. It was an artery. It was that
really?
dark purple, thick, clotted blood.
Wow.
And it went up behind the chicken house. Well, they were telling us, "Get your butts in the house, you get in the house." And they were yelling at us. We didn't want to go, and they're yelling at us. And then all of a sudden, we hear it growling. And it's running its fingernails down the back of the tin of that chicken house. Just, you can hear them just, and it's growling. So they take us in the house, and my mom ends up calling my dad, and then they end up calling my Uncle Bob. My Uncle Bob was the one in Vietnam. My dad's a big man. He was 6'6", 350 pounds. So they showed up, and of course, as kids, we went out there, and our moms were out there, and they're shining the lights at the chicken house, and my uncle's there, and they can still hear this thing growling. It's still out there growling. And my uncle had one of those. You remember those old silver spotlights that plugged into the ashtray?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He had one of those. He turned it on, and when he shined it out there, whatever it was, it took off running. And whenever it took off running, my uncle said, "Do you see that?" My dad's name was Stormy. They said, "Do you see that, Storm?" He called him Storm. He said, "That thing's got a bag of feed over its back." And it took off running toward the pond. Well, the next day, my uncle came back down, and he's like, "You know what? I think you and your cousin are lucky you're still alive." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "I don't think it had a bag of feed over its back. I think that whenever you shot that one, it ran up there behind that chicken house to an adult one, and that adult one had the injured one over its back running away. And if you would have went up there," he said, "I think it would have done you two boys in."
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That was a crazy night.
That's incredible.
I don't know. Everybody asked me, they said, was it always at your granny and grandpa's? And it wasn't. It was never there until my uncle would go out spook hunting with his now wife, and he would take her out to scare her. And, they would go down in the woods and park with friends, and everybody would get scared. And one night, something jumped on the top of his car, and he drove home because he was scared. And that's when it all started happening. And then the next morning, his car was just covered in fish scales and stunk so bad. So
covered in
whatever,
what? Fish scales?
Fish scales all over it.
Really?
Yeah. And after that night, that's whenever Mom said, my mom was just a kid. She's probably 10 or 11. She said that's when everything started happening, and it just escalated. And it happened all the way up until Granny passed away. And then my mom stopped going down there because Granny had passed away. Now, my mom's older sister ended up moving down there by herself. And she said it never done it, never again. So I don't know if it was attached to my granny, my mom, or what the deal was.
Wow. That's a long history.
Well, my mom, she had that, she had the closest encounter of any of the kids down there. It's kind of bad, but kind of funny. They had been to the store and bought groceries, and my grandpa had a big old Cadillac he drove. And they left Mom out in the back seat asleep while they were carrying in groceries. And while they was carrying in the groceries, they left her out there asleep. So she woke up scared. She's like, "Oh my God." So she takes off running. And as she's going up, they had the big old, the old concrete steps that went up to the enclosed porch.
Right.
And as she was going up those steps, she said it looked up over the steps at her. And she said the only way she knows how to describe what it looked like, she said, was a werewolf.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I have you heard the story about the friend of theirs that was down there that wrote me the letter?
Yeah. No.
Back whenever my mom and them were young teenagers, all this was going on after all that had happened. And he was the big guy in school, he was the big football player, wrestler, and he's like,
Yeah.
so he saw, the werewolf looking thing at the back of the house too. And he wouldn't talk about it for over 50 years, actually, until he was sick and actually dying.
Right.
And he wrote me a letter and he's like, it spoke to me. It looked right at me and it said hello. And he said it looked just like a werewolf.
Yep. Yep. That okay. I did hear that story. Now, I talked to my mom, who, as a little girl, okay, mom was born in 1925 down on the, down by the Brazos River, and she always wondered why my papa and granny wouldn't let her go out in the woods. Papa would, just plow, and he was able to gather a tow sack full of arrowheads. There were so many arrowheads through that area along the Brazos and at Cedar Springs, but he uh, my mom asked Granny. She said, Granny, why can't I go play in the woods or go play in the field in the evening? And Granny said, well, those screams and those whoops that we hear, the neighbor said there's a giant naked hairy man. And so anyway, that was her first explanation as to why she couldn't go out there. And it was that year, at the age of 5 in 1930, that my papa moved to the eastern part of the county so he could stay out plowing later, because
Right.
I don't think he liked being out there and and plowing in that area because of the sounds that were coming out of the woods. So that was pretty interesting.
There was a little boy that lived not far from me, probably 20 miles north of here, back when my mom was a kid. And he made friends with whatever was out in the woods, and he ended up eventually running off with it, and they never found him. They don't know if he died or if he ran away with it or, what had happened to him.
Wow.
Isn't that the kid that they think that they actually saw?
Yeah, I spoke to a guy, what was it, about probably a month ago, and he gave me the rest of the story on it. He said he knew the family, and he gave me a location and said that if I go to this location, I got a good chance of seeing this boy that's now I guess a wild man or.
Really?
Yeah. So I may go down there.
How far is it from Nowata?
It's not, probably about the same distance, 20, 25 miles. That old Verdigris River, it runs up through all of it up here, and then what is the Verdigris runs into the Arkansas and the Mississippi's all connected, and then out to the ocean.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that Oklahoma actually has what they call an open seaport. Yeah, I worked at it. A lot of the other people were laughing, saying, "Oh, Mike said he worked with the Coast Guard, and you can't work with the Coast Guard." But yeah, I'll even tell them where I worked. I worked at what they call the Port of Catoosa, Oklahoma, and it's an open seaport here in Oklahoma. We actually have barges that come up and down it from the ocean. So
Really?
the Coast Guard has full reign over that because it is a seaport.
Hmm. I've heard of. I mean, I've been to Catoosa. Uh,
Oh,
how
that's
far?
cool.
How far are you? See, for 28 years, Mike, before I got into roofing, I sold treatment plant pipe. I sold pipe valves and fittings to contractors throughout Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Kansas, uh, Louisiana, and New Mexico, and Oklahoma. And so I sold. Um, let me see. What's that? Um, There was a series of pump stations. What's that? What's the Long Lake up 69, 69, 75? What's the name of that lake? The
You
one
talking
that
about
goes.
Eufaula?
Yeah, Eufaula, Lake Eufaula. Um, I sold several pump stations along that, uh, and a treatment plant, and several projects in Oklahoma City and up at Tulsa. And how far are you from Ponca City?
Let's see, Ponca City is northeast of me, probably 40, 45 miles, something like
Okay.
that.
How far are you from Big Cabin?
Oh, not far at all.
Really?
Probably uh 25 miles, something like that, 30 miles.
Okay.
It's just right over.
Well, see, I was always going through Pitcher, Oklahoma, up into Kansas because I I bought uh, the largest steel pipe manufacturer in America is right there in southeast Kansas, and
Uh-huh.
uh, and so I would drive through. I would go past Big Cabin. I was going to toward Joplin, and then I would get off. That's Miami, right around
Uh-huh.
Miami,
Yep.
and I would head north and go up through Pitcher and on through Columbus, Kansas, up to Scammon. But um, remind me to tell you, there's some very interesting stories that Lance Hightower told me uh, about about Wiley Fritz, um, something that he encountered just at that little community, and they basically flew a Huey in, and they a lady was injured badly in broad daylight,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and that's in southeast Kansas.
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy called up
Wow.
the sheriff. They're all in the same county, and the sheriff had gone to school with with John's kids. Well, he asked him. When I asked him, I said, "Hey, ask him what happened. Why the military shut down that stretch of highway?" Um, and so he asked him, and he was really surprised. John called me up and he said, "Larry," he said that that sheriff, he would always stop by at our plant and visit and get something to drink or something at the where they built the steel pipe. But he said when I mentioned that, that guy, that sheriff said, "John, don't ever mention that again. Don't ever talk about it again." But anyway, John got the willies,
Oh
whenever
yeah.
because he didn't believe in Bigfoot or dogmen, at the time, and and he thought that I just was pulling his leg about something, but he said that whenever he talked to the guy, he said, yeah, he said, don't ever. But what the guy at the liquor store in that little community, the military came by and uh, took all the camera angles for the highway, and they walked into that one store, and Lance Hightower's buddy, um, Wally Fritz, had grown up with the guy that owned that liquor store, and the guy said, guy walks in, a couple of guys walk in, and they close the blinds, and they tell him that he's closed for the day, and he said, actually, I'm not closed for the day, and they said, yes, you are, and and they were a couple of guys wearing black, and they asked for his camera, um, camera deal, and they took it. They took everything he had, and they said, as they left, they said, you'd be advised to not mention anything that was said here or anything that you saw. But anyway,
Man, that blows my mind because Jesse will remember this. Jesse, you remember I covered that story wasn't long ago that came over the scanner up by
Oh,
southeast Kansas, the Black Hawk chasing that thing. Remember?
yeah, I remember that.
We had a call that came in on the scanner, just up from me, maybe 20 miles up in Childers.
yeah,
Yeah, and they chased it in a Black Hawk and they lost it. I'm not going to say it outran them, but they said they were having trouble keeping up with it. And I don't know if that meant speed wise or keeping the camera on it, because that
right,
Verdigris is so wooded and
exactly.
there's so much tree cover. But another thing, are you talking about a location? Is that going to be around Highway 10, Larry?
Okay, I'm trying. See, as you go north through Pitcher's that little community that has all that lead, all that
Uh-huh.
uh, you know, that chaff.
Right.
That's mountains of it, and if you go just north of there, there's a four-way stop, and there's a road going east and west over into uh, probably just a little bit north of Joplin, or actually, if you follow it, it actually turns down and goes into Joplin. But um, but that little four-way stop, I'm trying to remember. It's that little community is like 2 to 3 miles to the right, and if you instead of going straight north to Columbus, Kansas, you take a right. And that little community, I'd been to it a couple times, just taking the back way to one of my customers over in Missouri, over in Joplin. I sold $4 million worth of pipe on one job to Branco, and Branco bought 12 million from me in the course of 3 years, and
Up there
they
where
kept
you're
me
talking
busy.
about, on Highway, if you get a chance, you could look it up. Look up Highway 10. It runs up just north of
Okay.
Nowata. There
Yep.
was a UPS driver that was driving down Highway 10, and he reported seeing a Bigfoot. Said
Really?
he seen it standing out in the field, and they laughed at him. Everybody, said he was crazy. He didn't see that, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Right.
Now, this is documented. a lady that lives up there by the location where this man said he saw Bigfoot,
Uh-huh.
she had an encounter with Bigfoot that ended her up in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah, she had a panic attack and she also had a heart attack. And
Wow.
that's right up on that Highway 10. Now, Highway 10 is, oh my God, it's a freaky highway. It is one of those like desolate. Nobody hardly
Uh-huh.
travels it anymore. It runs right along the old Verdigris River. It's not far from the Kansas line. It's right there on that Kansas line. But
Uh-huh.
there's a lot of things have went. That's pretty close. Also, Miami to the famous spook light.
Right.
The what is it? The Joplin spook light, I think is what they call it.
Huh.
Yeah, that's right to the east. Yeah.
Yeah, and
hmm
it's famous everywhere.
I
hmm
think I've actually seen that on uh, a documentary. I saw something because see, Joplin was one of my favorite locations because Branco was based out of one of my customers was based out of there, and uh, you know I could always count on uh, selling huge projects to me. They really trusted me to take care of them, and so I was in Joplin. In fact, you remember the big tornado that hit Joplin?
Yep.
I was headed to Joplin the day of the storm, the day
Oh
of,
wow.
and I ended up going back the very next day. I remember they lost power and everything, and so I drove on home, but I had to get up to the other side, and my La Quinta was not damaged. I mean, so much of Joplin was just destroyed, but
Yeah.
the La Quinta that I always stayed at was untouched. It was just north of all that. But anyway,
So
yeah.
you've seen the big Indian at Big Cabin then, huh?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, yep. Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, Hunter used to love to look at that. I'd take him over there and he would always say, "Dad, can we go see the big Indian?" And then
You'll see the big Indian.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
and then up in Veneta has the world's largest McDonald's. And
Mm,
that was the last place I got to take him before he was took. But yeah, they have
wow.
the world's largest McDonald's is up at Veneta, and the McDonald's is actually built over the turnpike. The whole
Right. Oh,
McDonald's.
yeah. I've been at Bonita. I several times. Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's a couple of funny stories about Bonita that I can tell, but yeah, that really are.
Boy,
But
their mental hospital out there is a scary looking place. Ooh,
I uh, I have bypassed that, I think. So
big old pink buildings.
I I'm
Pink?
gonna have to I'm gonna have to pay a little closer attention next time I'm driving back that way. But the now, if he wants to see a big Indian, there's a huge Indian um, carved in up in South Dakota, and I'm um, trying to remember the name of it. It's up near um, it's up near uh, the 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 Black Hills, um, the Black Hills. Was it? It wasn't Geronimo. Maybe hang on. Trying to remember who the statue. But anyway, it's carved in um, a mountain, but it's
Uh,
huge. I'll have to Google it, but that's a
he
big
he
Indian
loved
there.
it. He loved that kind of stuff. I got the last photo that I got with him. We went to that McDonald's, and right where you look out of the McDonald's over the overpass, there was
Over the
a
overpass. Uh huh.
yeah, Will Rogers, right there, where that
Yep.
statue.
Yeah. Yep.
He
I know
said, "Dad,
exactly.
take." Yep, he said, "Dad, take my picture with it," and I took his picture with it, and that's the last picture I have.
Oh.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we was looking for a grimace shake, and to this day, I still owe him a Grimace shake. We drove to 4 towns that day looking for a Grimace shake, and I told him, I said, I'll get you one. So I
Uh-huh.
still owe him one. I haven't forgot. I'll get him one someday.
Uh-huh. Yep. It's gonna happen.
It will. I ain't never
Can't happen
forgot.
soon enough. Yeah. Can't happen soon enough.
But yeah, he for some reason he loved that kind of stuff, statues and stuff like that. He was into that. He really liked it.
Yep. Wow. Wow.
He was.
No, I'm now that now that I'm getting some of the the roofs that I did 3 and 4 months ago that are paying me, I should be able to make a trip up. Uh, I've got to go to Kansas anyway. I've got to go to Mid America Steel Pipe. I've got to go visit John, but I may need to swing by Nevada and meet you.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll go grab something to eat.
Okay, it won't
Go get a
won't be
triple burger.
yeah, triple burger. That'll work. It always works. It'll work for me. But how far are you from Whataburger?
We got one in Bartlesville.
Right.
That's probably the closest one to me. Mostly what we have around here is we got a Sonic. We got
Yeah.
what do they, the Train Depot is what they call it. It's a restaurant where they make big O steaks, country fried steaks, and
Yeah. I've eaten at Toby Keith's up at the ball yard, up at the brickyard,
oh yeah,
and another location, and they had really good chicken fried steaks. Toby Keith's. I guess the business is still there, even though he's passed on.
yeah. I think they have one there in Catoosa in
Yes.
the
Yes.
casino.
Yeah. That's yep. I've eaten at both of them. I've eaten at the
Oh
one at the
wow.
brickyard and one at Catoosa.
Does that Catoosa not got one big, huge TV screen outside? That
Yeah.
thing's huge.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like a drive-in movie.
It
Yeah.
is. We still have a drive-in, just right down that turn or that I-44 right there.
Right. Well,
You can go right.
there's a few of them. I mean, I take note of them every time I see them. But there's one just below Corsicana,
Oh yeah.
on 45. But
I remember the first movie I saw at one. Mom and Dad and they were young, and they took us kids, and I don't. You probably remember it. I remember it. It was called When Peggy Sue Got Married.
oh yeah, Becky Sue got married.
That was the first one I ever seen at a drive-in. I've always
Wow.
remembered it.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the oldest one I saw. I mean, but it was pretty funny. You drive up there and they hand you a little speaker and have
Yeah.
it put it over in the car.
Now you just adjust your car radio to a certain channel and sit there and listen to
Right.
it.
Exactly.
They got some good food out of them little concession stands though. I like that kind of snack food.
Mm-hmm.
My belly don't, but I do.
Yeah. My belly is amenable to all that kind of snack food. So I've got to.
Yeah, I'm trying to be good. I'm diabetic, so I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
be good.
Yeah. Well,
Sky Wonderly. Mike, how old are you? 29.
hey,
No, 49.
I got Barton. I'm just telling you that he was his blood sugar was what at 860. I mean,
Oh my God.
it was they said that if he had he started feeling weak, and
Right.
he instead of going home and going to bed, he went to the hospital, and that's what saved his life, because they said if he'd have gone home, he'd have never woke up. But
Right.
uh,
That's
I
scary.
introduced him to a friend of mine that put him on a diet, and Barton no longer needs insulin.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. So, uh, like I say, I've written up some stuff about Barry, uh, and he makes this stuff called cannabosum, and it's incredible. It's just he's got everyone that he has treated, that people that have MS, when they
Uh-huh.
take the suppositories for a month, they're cured. There's no lesions in their brain anymore.
Oh, wow.
And um, it really helps with diverticulitis. It helps with um, I had Martin Groves. It really someone told me that was at a conference with him that he looked like a new man after he had you know taken a few of those suppositories, but he got off of them, and his health's not great, but I think that if he if he would have taken them um, you know long enough, he'd he might be completely cured of diverticulitis. But anyway, this guy makes some incredible stuff, and that cannabosum, the he's got the topical that you put on uh, aches or pains, or if you've got a migraine, you rub it on your temple, a couple of drops, and the migraine's gone. But
Wow.
anyway, Barry's a brilliant scientist, and you know, um, I can tell you that when I jammed my thumb, and my thumb just didn't want to react, didn't want to move. Well, I put that cannabosum oil on it, and it unlocked it, no pain. And I was helping a crew. I was helping a crew one time, and we were doing my crew was doing the oldest roof in the state of Texas. It was a stage stop that was built in 1832. So it's older than the state of Texas. It was there before the Battle of the Alamo, and so we put a Tennessee V roof on that stage top, and it's still a residence there in Falls County, and but they were trying to get to the back pasture, and there was a tree limb that would have hit their windshield if they'd have been driving through, and so I grabbed that and gave it a pull, and I thought it would just you know, snap off the tree, but the 12-inch portion of it catapulted down and hit my shoulder.
Oh,
And if it would have, you know, 5 inches to the left, and it would have rearranged my face. 3 inches, and it would have broke my clavicle. But that 200 pound, that 200 pound stump that hit. Well, I took that cannabosum and rubbed it on, and the next day I had no pain at all. So
Wow.
anyway, it's incredible stuff. That uh, anybody wants to PM me, I can get you Barry's website.
cool. Yeah. I'm sure I think everybody in here knows you too. Carla and everybody's been telling you hello during the
Oh,
show.
okay. I can't see anything in the chat. All I can see is y'all. So I
Yeah.
can't see nothing.
Yeah. There's been a
Well,
lot of
hello
people
everybody.
telling. telling you hello.
Carla wants to know how old you are, Larry.
Who wants to know how old I am? I'm
Carla.
ancient. Carla wants. I am. I'm old enough to know better. That's for sure.
Larry's still going to. I think you're still getting on roofs and everything, right?
Oh yeah, I got to do that. Yeah.
See, I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah. Uh, there's some steep roofs that are no fun, no fun at all. Uh, and I try to get, I try to climb some roofs with my regular boots, and if it's a 8 pitch or 9 pitch, it's just too steep. You got to have those cougar paws, uh, and even at that, it's no fun. But I got to do what I got to do. Um, no, in answer to the question about my age, uh, I am 66.
Ah,
66. So yeah,
you're not old.
I'm
You're
ancient.
my you're
I'm
you're
not
my
old.
mom. You're my mom's age.
I'm old enough to be. Yeah, that's hilarious. That I'm still breathing at my age. But
Oh,
no,
my mom. She what keeps her young is fishing. My mom loves to go fishing.
I love to go fishing too. But and if I do enough roofs, I can go fishing. I can go hunting. I can do whatever. But I do need to get back to the gym. I mean, I worked out for years and years and years, but I sort of after COVID, uh,
Yeah,
I really quit going to the gym. But
yeah.
hey, I
I started lifting the fork too much.
yeah, I've been working at Fort for a long while. Now if you look on Barton's page, uh, Shell posted something. Um, you know, I there's a guy whose name I won't mention uh, down in Austin, sort of a. But but anyway, so back when I worked for him, and I say worked for him, I I believed just like everybody else, you know, his little story that he owned a security company, but that's not the case at all. It was a single LLC owned by Marty. But anyway, so his job was making sure that all the sites were covered. And so when I was working for him, I was friends with him and supported him. And I told him about how the Cowboys invited me to a tryout because, and I told him why. I said I was good friends with the owner of the Cowboys at the time. That was Bum Bright, and when he heard that I got 455 pounds up on the bench press, well, he called up Tom Landry and had Tom reach out to me. Had Gil Brandt, the director of scouting uh, or vice president of the Cowboys, to send me an invitation for a tryout at Texas Stadium for linebacker. And so anyway, Shell posted that picture on Barton's deal because see what Josh. Well, dadgummit, I've mentioned his name. Crap.
Too late.
Golly. Patooey. Crap. Got a bitter taste in my mouth. But anyway, um, so I told him that I got an invitation to try out for the Cowboys. as a linebacker. And so, what does he do after after I'm gone, and after I walked away from listening to his show, after he started teaching, trying to tell everybody that the Anunnaki created all the humans,
Yeah.
all this kind of crap. Uh, so he started telling everybody that, hey, I found out that Larry never was a cowboy. He claimed he was a Dallas cowboy, and I got to looking, and we have found he was never a cowboy. And
Oh
so,
my God.
anyway, so I've got that uh, the 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 picture and the write up from my tryout at Texas Stadium, and something that was pretty cool. 20 years after I had my tryout, uh, see, I needed to run a 4.7 or faster at 230 uh, to go to Thousand Oaks, and I could not get under a 4.8. Uh,
Mm.
so, but anyway, but 20 years after I had that tryout and got I still had the letter, the invitation, and then this old girlfriend of mine you know uh, from back in the day, she sent me the copy of it. That picture is 37 years old, but
Wow.
anyway, she had it, and so I went ahead and sent it to Shell, and Shell uh, Clough was going to post it, and I told Shell that Clough was going to post that picture because it'll just make that guy down in Austin upset when
Oh,
you know,
he
when
would be he would be so mad. My friend is a personal trainer at Gold's Gym,
hmm
and he benches 550. And we were talking the other day, and I showed him that stupid video that I call him Jowls put out,
right,
and he looked at it, and the first thing he did is he looked at me, he started laughing, and I said, "What?" He goes, "Dude, that's not a bench press. That's done on a machine." I said,
right,
"What?" He said, "He's not using his secondary muscles." He said, "Tell him if he wants to impress me, tell him to bench press that on a straight bar, and then that'll impress me." He goes, "All he's done is pushing that weight. That machine controls it, stabilizes it, balances it. All he's got
yep,
to do is push it." He said,
exactly,
"Tell him to straight bar press it." He said, "Then he's doing something."
exactly, exactly,
All it
exactly,
does is,
and
that machine just holds it for you. All you got to do is push it.
push it, yeah, and see that's what's funny is, I mean, he's pressing his weight, and I was pressing 2 times my weight, you know,
Right. And
when
that's what my
I
cousin said.
yeah, what's
He
that?
said he's got to pick that up every day off the couch.
Oh yeah, he's got to lift every day. Every day he's got to lift that 500. Got to get up somehow.
Oh, it's
Oh
coming.
man, got to do it. Uh, I got to give him credit for being able to get up.
At least he can still walk.
Yeah, or waddle.
Oh God! I heard he was going to start selling his own merchandise in the swag bag. Now you're going to get a free urinal.
One of those portable ones.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh man.
that's something.
But I remember when I was young, man, on my bedroom wall, I had Eddie Too Tall Jones and Aikman was on my wall growing up, and I had
Yep,
the Dallas Cowboys football. It had the little white part on it, and then it was
yep.
the regular football.
With a star. Yeah,
Yep,
yep.
I love the Cowboys.
Yeah, that was. Um, well, I was telling you about that stuff. Well, Bob Lilly, um, Bob Lily's got the best memory. I mean, that's really really cool. In 1976, he met me. I met him at a donkey baseball game, softball game over in Groesbeck, Texas, and he remembered meeting me when the next time I talked to him was he was there were there was a restaurant opening up in Plano, and this was probably 20 years ago, and he remembered meeting me at Groesbeck, Texas, and
Wow.
so anyway, I was impressed, and then Bob Lilly, um, he was uh, he got a degenerative problem with he could not raise his hands to feed himself or to comb his hair, so he'd lost 80 pounds, and he was just waiting to die. And Jackie Sherrill uh, has this stem cell stuff that you know where you put millions of stem cells of your own stem cells back into your system. Well, um, Bob told me when we got invited to that dinner uh, at the Dallas Country Club. Uh, I guess it was probably 6 years ago now. I know it was Bob Lilly's 40th anniversary, his 40th wedding anniversary. He had his wife there that day, and he said that stem cell transplant saved his life. He said uh, he was able to raise his arms up, no pain, and he gained his the 60 of the 80 pounds that he had lost, and he was in great shape. But what I was saying now, one thing that he does, he uses Barry's ointment, that oil, that cannabosum, he uses that every day, and and gets pain relief. So anyway, I'm doing. I guess I'm doing a uh, what do you call this? Is
A plug.
yeah, I'm doing an advertisement for cannabosum here. But
See,
well,
what I think is interesting about that, though, is the research that he put into that. And
oh yeah,
I mean, that is amazing.
yeah. I see. He said no one ever knew anything about the endocannabinoid system until 1988, and he said it was discovered, in 1988, and um, the stuff that he puts in that, it's incredible. You- uh, black seed oil, uh, black seed oil is very well known as something to combat cancer, as is apricot seed oil, and then he's got cannabinoids and phytocannabinoids, frankincense, and myrrh. So it smells good. You know, it smells good. It's got the same scent that Jesus smelled the day he woke up. I mean, the day he was born.
Oh,
When
wow.
when they brought frankincense and myrrh. But anyway, it's pretty cool stuff. But hey, I've enjoyed talking. I've got uh, my phone's about to die, and I
Yeah.
gotta put it on a charger. But really enjoyed visiting with y'all, and hoping to do this again down the way.
Oh, you have an open invitation, Larry. We always enjoy seeing you, and you know, God bless you and your family, and you have a Merry Christmas this year and a Happy New Year also.
Hey, hey, happy New Year to y'all, and Merry Christmas, and just remember to put the Lord first in everything you do, and everything will work out.
Yeah. Amen.
True
Merry
words.
Christmas.
Amen. Yep.
All right. Well,
All
y'all
right.
have a good
Well,
night.
Larry. All right. God bless you.
God bless y'all. Bye bye.
Nice.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye. Of
That was
course, I don't know
awesome.
how to hang up.
Oh no.
Just hit the back button. There you go.
Oh, I could have done that all night.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed that. I didn't know he had been in my neck of the woods and knew so much about around here. And I didn't know Sky Wonderly was so old either.
Oh,
No, not really.
you're terrible.
You can tell it's late tonight. Hi, Kaylee.
Oh,
How are you? What are you
is
doing?
Kaylee gonna say hi?
Kaylee, she said, come over and say hello to everybody. Kaylee,
Yes.
everybody wants you to say hello. She acts like she can't hear me, but she can. That's that selective hearing she has.
She must get that from you.
You know, she actually went with me boots on the ground tonight. And over by Nowata. And she loved it, and we had a great time. And I keep a machete under my bed.
You're lying.
Come on, Kaylee. Everybody wants to say hi
Come on,
to
Kaylee.
you.
Everybody say, come here.
I look terrible.
So, come here.
I care
You
about
look
my
like you've
image.
been boots on the ground.
I don't.
You got to come here and tell everybody hi. They want to see you.
I won't get on the camera, but I'll say hi.
Oh, you got to get on the camera. Just stick your head over.
Hello, everybody.
She's afraid to look. Her hair is not perfect, guys, so she can't come on the show. You know how that is. Sunshine said
Oh,
hello,
okay.
Kaylee.
Jessie, she knows.
She said,
I look
look
like
at look at Jessie. She looks like she just rolled out of bed. No, not really.
I look like I stuck my finger in a light socket. My hair's all over the place.
I've been teasing everybody
Give us a
tonight.
stink eye, Jessie.
All right. Well, I'm sure everybody's probably ready for bed. Moderators, thank you so much for being in here tonight. I'm surprised Sky didn't attack me. Hopefully she didn't hear me.
Sky's trying to set Kaylee up.
Yeah. Sky says, hey, pretty girl. Hey, girl, I have a cute son your age. Laugh out loud. See right here. She wrote it. I'm not making it up. We're not teasing you. Look, she said it right there. You can read it yourself. Here, I'll throw it up so everybody can see it. There we go. See?
This ain't no dating app.
And Kaylee's well, she's pretty young.
I am young.
I mean, y'all wouldn't think that I'd be 29 years old and have a daughter that's, 20,
You are not 29.
26.
You already said your age.
I don't know. I feel good for 49. She said she's going to send me a picture. She's blushing. Y'all ever see it? Y'all ever seen an Indian girl blush? If you can see her right now.
You lying.
Yeah, you can't tell we're Indian, can you? You can't tell my daughter's Indian at all. Yeah, she has to be Irish with that bright red hair, huh? I know a Nephilim that's got red hair. I know a few of them. Giving her a hard time. Jess, anything you want to say before we rock out of here tonight, man? I that was a pleasure. We're going to have Larry on, but you know what? I think Larry is also a perfect candidate for Wide Open Adventures.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should have him on Wide Open.
I think we should too. What do y'all think? Should we have Larry on Wide Open Adventures?
I think so.
I think everybody's about half asleep. All right, Jess, you want to start walking us out of this one, and we'll let everybody get some sleep. I know that Sky is probably really tired. It's past her bedtime, and her arthritis is probably kicking up, so we'll let her get to bed.
So bad. Hope everyone has a great weekend. I'm going to go make cookies with my sister-in-law tomorrow. And then, yeah, so it'll be a good day. So hope everybody has a great weekend. Enjoy. Merry Christmas if we don't see you again. And God bless. Take care. Stay warm. Yeah.
All right, everybody. Like I said before, we could not do this channel without you guys. You guys are this channel. It's all of y'all that make it happen. And without you guys, there's no channel. We're just sitting here talking to ourselves. About ready to figure out what dog tastes like. And as always, though, we appreciate you guys being here and supporting us and just hanging out tonight. We haven't done a late night one in a long time, and I really enjoyed it. Larry was a great host. Larry's a great man. God bless Larry. He does a lot for a lot of people, and he definitely is if he is ever judged by his fruits, that man has a very, I would say, a seat at the table with the Lord. Good man. Guys, I appreciate y'all being here tonight. I'm going to jump off here. Thank you for the support. And I'm sure we'll see y'all again before Christmas and New Year's. But if I don't, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And we'll see you on the next one. Good night and God bless.
Good night.